Guys, welcome to another video. My name is Yash, and every year I help 1000 plus students in their SOPs. I helped my own self actually get into universities like Columbia, USC, Cornell, and now I help many such people out there to do the same. In the last 6 years, easily I've done more than 5000 plus SOPs, reviewed, improved, and today I'm going to be telling you about the 7 biggest blunders I've seen people make on their SOPs. Trust me, my friend, if you avoid these mistakes, you are already ahead of 95% of the people in their applications. People with a lower CGPA, people who have not much work experience, they can actually get much better admits than people who have been in the industry for sometimes 5-10 years. And still, even with the top-notch scores, their whole this application is just crap, simply because they don't know what they're doing. They write the SOP in the wrong way. I've seen both kinds of students. Some students who don't have the perfect profile and still make it to Harvard, MIT, Stanford. How does that happen? Your SOP is key. And I've seen some of the students with the perfect GPA go to universities like Northern Illinois University, Auburn University. I believe, my friend, you are defined by not only your scores, but the quality of your application. That's what we're fixing here. Let's start with the biggest blunders. And of course, if you like this video, if you like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You can also take a look at the SOP drafting service from YMGrad, where basically I'll be personally working with you on your SOPs, along with some Ivy League graduates, and our whole team will be at your disposal. The biggest issue I see repeating every single SOP almost is a bad or a boring start. For instance, take a look at this SOP start. Firstly, I would like to introduce myself as an undergraduate student of Bachelor of Engineering program from MS Ramaiah Institute of Technology, one of the most prestigious institutions of Bangalore University. I've completed my course of engineering in the field of industrial engineering, which was for a period of 4 years. I graduated in the first class with distinction, ranked among this. Not only does this have grammatical mistakes, even if I were to ignore that point, this is so redundant. Everything that this person has mentioned here is already mentioned on their resume. The resume already mentions where they graduated from. The resume already probably mentions the distinction. The resume already mentions the 4 years. So what is extra over here? Nothing. It's a waste of space. Now let me give you another example. Take a look at this one. Time and effort, if put together, definitely leads to success. I still remember that Friday night, I was debugging a hospital management project. I didn't realize how the night drifted off so quickly, but finally I arrived at a solution. These comprehensive efforts were aptly rewarded when my project was implemented at a cardiac clinic. This experience in developing a client server-based system infused into my mind the love for computers over electronics and inspired me to delve into the field of software engineering. So this is clearly showing how this person essentially moved from electronics to computer science. It is a decent start. I've seen better, but this sample in itself, I will choose it any day over a sample like the previous one. In the end, this one also got a little bit boring and predictable, but it was still much, much better. To improve this, maybe this person could have written about the impact their project had, what kind of a footprint they had, and how that sort of a economical footprint helped them go deeper into the field, but at the end of the day, it's still pretty decent. Number 2, biggest mistake stems from the issue of bad start, and this one is again copying the resume. We've already discussed this in brief. We've seen a bad example of this. Don't copy the resume. Don't mention the exact same things. And this is not just about the first paragraph, the whole SOP. Many people just talk about this project that they did, that project, this research, this experience, all the things they'll go over. But it's just a copy of the resume. There's nothing extra. Instead, you want to talk about the challenges you faced, which exact projects mattered, how they sort of shaped your journey, why you exactly think that this project is a part of your purpose as to why you're applying for this degree, all these things. It should really connect together. Number 3, biggest blunder people make is with the word limit. Many times they cross it. They don't even check it. I'm surprised as to how many students make this mistake. They don't check the word limit, or they know the word limit. They just cross it casually as if it's nothing. So if it's 500 words or 1,000 words, you cannot submit 1,015 words. It's against the rules. That means you cannot follow simple policy. Also, don't put pointless information in there. If something is already on your resume, don't put it in there. Yes, you can talk about a project from a different perspective and experience that, you probably have shared on your resume, but it's, shared differently. You can talk about how it has helped you grow, but don't mention the exact same things. Of course, you're going to cross the word limit if you continue like that. And point 4 stems from this one, and this is covering everything. Many people, they like to cover everything they've done. Oh, okay, I don't want to undersell myself, so I will cover all the projects I've done, 5 projects, 3 research projects essentially. Then there's 2 internships, there's 2 work experiences, there's probably some volunteering experience. Everything they want to cover, everything. Whether it's a part of their purpose, not, doesn't matter. They'll write everything. Just 2 lines about this project, 2 lines about that. Oh, let me add that one also. I did that project as well. All these experiences that you're adding, I think they should not be more than 3 maximum. Okay, 1 internship probably, 1 work experience, and 1 research. Maybe something like that. The numbers could be different. 2 research projects, 1, work ex, whatever. But go deeper into those projects rather than writing about all of them, just 2 lines or 3 lines essentially, because at the end of the day, that's going to hurt you more than it helps you. Number 5, and I like to call this the hard-coded SOP. Why do I call it the hard-coded SOP? Because the student writes an SOP, right? They don't even look at after that. The requirements of different universities, maybe Purdue requires a 500-word draft, and maybe, USC accepts a 2-page draft. They don't look at anything. They submit the same SOP everywhere. It's not just about the word limit. It's about the requirements of the SOP in itself. Many universities have specific instructions for what they want to see in the SOP. Maybe they want something different from the other university. Especially this happens with B schools, MBA essays, and all these things. Everything has to be written from scratch. You cannot use the same template and expect to get it at every university. So customize your draft. Look at the different programs. Every program is different from the other. I can tell you everything's unique. So write about that. Change the word limits, of course. Change university-specific portions. All these things, professors, whatever you're mentioning, change all of that, my friend. 6th, and probably the biggest blunder on this entire list, is copied or AI-generated content. I don't think there's any red flag that is bigger than this one. I feel if a student has such low IQ that they basically go ahead and they start copying from the internet they look at 10 SOPs on the internet and then they just start copying. Okay, I'll make some parts from here, some parts from there, or I'll use maybe ChatGPT, I'll use this or that. I think and I've seen this happen, by the way. I've seen this happen. Students have come to me in the past and they've said, look, we got this, letter from the university stating that our SOP is plagiarized or it has basically this AI-generated content, and they're rejecting me because of that. I didn't do this, I didn't do that. I say, well, of course, it's clear that you did that. And then I generate a Turnitin report. I see exactly where the plagiarism is also coming out of. It's literally, universities have proof of this. Don't make this mistake. This not only can get you a rejection, but also a ban from applying to that university ever again. Write it by yourself. Use your, English grammar teacher's help, whatever you want to do, but don't use AI-generated content and don't copy any SOPs. Especially, don't copy any technique that other people are using online, because trust me, 90% of the people who are basically publishing those SOPs online, then getting nowhere. Every story is presented differently, and I believe yours should be too. And number 7, again, I hate to see this. It doesn't work. The child genius, where you broke down a PC and then you assembled everything at the age of 8, and you had this brilliant idea that now you want to be a software engineer or something. Avoid that. A lot of people do this, and this is overplayed. I feel it does not work anymore. A couple of tips for you. Make sure you explain your weaknesses. Whatever weaknesses you have low CGPA, you have backlogs, talk about that. Why, right? They don't expect you to every time, but an explanation in the SOP can go a long way. Another tip is to offer proof for each and every one of the claims. So people like to use this word that we're very passionate about this field. We do this, we do that. Explain that passion. Did you stay after hours and work with the professor on research? Did you essentially go home, do an internship in this particular field, and come back to college after that? Right? Some people maybe even submitted projects when they were sick. All of these things essentially, which were hindrances to your profile, but today you've overcome them and they've become your strengths. Talk about that. Talk about those experiences. And that, my friend, would be my tips for you. And of course, 7 biggest things to avoid essentially on your SOP. Now, if you want, I can also look at your SOPs personally, one-on-one, and you can actually reach out to me on my WhatsApp. Number is in the description. You can look at my Instagram link. And of course, you can chat with me on Instagram, and you can also subscribe to the channel. All these things motivate me and help me to make more such content for you. Let me know in the comments if you know any other blunders that you see often, and thank you so much for watching this video.